Dude, you had prime real estate at Contact.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah, you were like right there at the corner.
Yep.
You know what? Can we just can we start there? We could, just
Yeah.
roll from here. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Bledsoe, everybody. We're here with my man Tony Toothpaste, as the real ones know him. But please help me with your pronunciation. Tony Mikalauskas.
I'm impressed. That's exactly it. Mikalauskas. Yeah, nobody gets that. So
I understand it, man. My last name is Ferminitis. And I
Oh,
heard that everyone
that's a
says
tough one
that.
too.
Yeah, I heard everyone asks if your last name is Greek.
Because
But
I did.
Yep.
yeah, the first
hmm
time I saw it, I was like, Greek. Mine is Greek. I am Greek, and I saw that last name, and I was like, is that Greek? But it's the LAU.
Yep.
It's the LAU part that threw it
Yep.
off. I was like, that part's not Greek, but it does sound Greek.
Yeah, even you thought it, right?
Yeah.
That's why I told Ryan. I said almost everybody, even if somebody's Greek, they're like, "Oh, you're Greek." No, no.
Us, us
But your excitement makes me want to be Greek.
Yeah, I was gonna say us Greeks, we get way too excited when a name even sounds vaguely Greek. We're like, oh. But yeah, Mikalauskas. It's nice. It's
Yep.
got a nice ring to it.
Yep.
Yeah,
There
well,
we go.
now I finally got it down. So my man Tony Mikalauskas, a man who now I have learned tonight wears many hats, and we're going to go into that. But when we started the show, we were having a little pre-show talk, and we got to talking about his prime real estate at Contact, and I was like, let's include this stuff. So we were just cutting in, talking about how at Contact in the Desert, you had prime real estate, dude. And like every time I walked by, it was bumping. There's people around your booth. People, I mean, several times, even people I was with, I'd be passing by and people like, what's this? And picking it up and, oh, I'm into the silver and all that. And like, I feel like, I mean, I know you already said it to us off camera, but, I just feel like that was such a successful event for you, man. Basically,
It was.
if you imagine a big hotel resort, they had him propped up right at like the main entrance and exit to where, you go down a labyrinth to find all these hundreds of other booths, and his was just like boom right there in front of everybody.
So you hit it like on the way in and on the way out.
Yes.
Oh god,
Yep.
that is the spot, man.
So
That's
thousands
the-
of people passed his booth over and over and over, and I loved to see the traffic. So good for you, man.
Yeah, it was actually really. I mean, even your mom came over like numerous times, and she gave me a hard time because I wasn't at the booth. She's like, "I came over to see you 3 times, and you weren't there."
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. So we keep talking about this mysterious booth. Well, what is the booth?
So, what we do is Fresh Mouth Club does. It's an all natural toothpaste, fluoride free, no toxins in it. But we kind of have a whole brushing system as well. But what separates us from other toothpastes that are out there is the antibacterial agent. So statistically, most toothpaste that are all natural, because I have a lot of conversations with dentists, and that's why I print out all the scientific studies and everything and always have them with me. But the biggest argument that the dentist makes that is true is that statistically, when you switch to an all natural toothpaste, you get more cavities, which that's true, and that's because
Really?
most all natural toothpaste don't use an antibacterial agent.
Wow.
So that's where the fluoride comes in the toxic toothpaste, our Colgate's, Crests, and mainstream type toothpaste like that, is because that does kill a certain amount of bacteria. Where all natural toothpaste, it's just kind of they use baking soda and some different charcoal and binding agents like that, but it's not antibacterial. It doesn't kill the bacteria. So what we use is we use silver. We nanotize it so it's smaller particles. The reason that's important is it gets in between the tooth and the gum. So when you nanotize something, it can get in on a molecular level, on the cellular level, and penetrate in between the tooth and the gum. And what happens as we get older, we're told that we get older and our teeth fall out. Sort of true, right? We get older and our teeth do fall out, and so on and so forth. But it's not old age, right? Old age is not a disease that causes your teeth to fall out, surprisingly. So there is another reason. What happens is we'll get gum disease or periodontal disease, and there's typically no pain associated when you get that. Okay, so if you don't have any pain, you're going about your day, everything's hunky dory. But that bacteria festers, it continues to build, it continues to eat away, and then we get older, and then our teeth fall out. So most people that have gum disease, and a lot of people do, they don't, but they never realize it because there's no pain. So they just continue to go on with their daily lives, and then they get older, their teeth fall out. So, and even if the dentist does catch it, the solution is they slice open your gum, they peel it down, and they scrape the bacteria out, and then they gum graft it back. And that still does not guarantee that it's going to fix it, because they don't give you anything that gets in between the tooth and the gum. So when you nanotize silver, it actually penetrates in between the tooth and the gum. And to give you kind of a quick example of how antibacterial silver is, prior to 1936, if you went to a doctor, med center, hospital, silver is what they gave you as an antibiotic. So if you were sick, that's what they gave you. After 1936, they synthesized antibiotics. They didn't use silver and most natural products anymore in the hospitals and med centers. Have either one of you guys heard of MRSA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a super. Yep. Did you have it or know somebody that had it?
No, but my uncle had it.
Yeah, I knew someone.
Yeah. Okay, because usually when you say it that way, most people that are familiar with MRSA, they know somebody who had it. So you know how dangerous it is.
Yes.
Well, prior to 1936, MRSA didn't exist because silver can kill it on contact. So that's how strong of an antibacterial agent silver is.
Wow,
so
I never.
That's what we
it's
use
in hospital beds and stuff, and gauze and certain things. Yeah,
I had no idea.
A lot of mattresses that are sold today are lined with silver because it's antibacterial.
Yep, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral.
Like the wraps and the bandages and stuff like that are lined with silver.
Because it's a natural antibacterial agent. I had no idea.
Bro, it kills werewolves and vampires.
That's true, it does.
That's a good point, right? Exactly.
I'm kidding, but come on, like maybe there was some sort of smoke to that fire. You know what I mean?
It's just like I know this is a silly little tangent, but it's just like the whole myth with like the garlic and the vampire thing. It's because garlic has like this enzyme in it that promotes really good gut health, and people who ate garlic lived longer back in those days, and it like staved off death. It's like a weird little myth that got worked in there. But there's a
lot of truths to the fictional stories, right? That's
exactly.
It kind of seems like the fictional stories are sometimes a little bit more true than the non-fictional story.
Yeah, they're hitting at something.
Hey, what are you implying, man? I'm kidding.
Well, the werewolf and vampire comment, I mean, there's probably a reason why that's in there. I mean, the myth.
I agree. That's why I said it. Like, I know I said a joke, but like, seriously, they probably knew that there was some sort of medicinal properties to silver back then.
Oh, yeah.
And over time, this myth formed around it. And here we are today, and it's used in hospital beds and very tasty toothpaste. I'm not going to lie, man. Your toothpaste is very tasty. I went through 2 bottles myself.
There already? That was like a week ago. No,
we met
toothpaste, right? Not ice cream. Yes, we did. We went with that was a few months ago. So
yeah, it was a few months ago at this point.
The whole reason that they stopped using silver is it's a natural product. It's a mineral, so you can't patent it. But the bandages, so that's why it's interesting you brought that up. The bandages and gauze, because silver nitrate regenerates skin tissue, so they use it on burn victims typically. Wow. But you can patent the design of the gauze. So you can't patent silver, but you can, however, patent the design of the gauze. So they know it works, but it's kind of like I'm sure you probably heard the term blue bloods, or born with a silver spoon in your mouth, right? That's where it comes from, because way back in the Romans, the Egyptians, they all used silver. So if you were wealthy, you were part of the elite group. Silver spoons are what you use because they knew it killed all the bacteria. So when they ate, that's really what we're supposed to be using when we eat, is actual silverware, not the stuff that we use now. They got rid of it, obviously, but that's why they used it. Same thing with blue blood. So when you take the silver, it turns your blood a tinge blue. So that's where they got the term blue bloods from, as well, is because of the silver. So they've known these studies have been around for decades, centuries even. They've known about the benefits of silver. But that's kind of like they call it a noble metal. So when you look at a lot of the scientific studies, silver, gold, and copper, there's so many different benefits to silver, gold, and copper, and they call them noble metals because they're metals that are minerals. And so not all metals are minerals, not all minerals are metals, and so on and so forth. But those three, there's tons of benefits and different things that they do. Like we were talking earlier, you were saying about the gold, right? The monatomic gold, and that's something that you were kind of starting to get into a little bit.
Yeah, we were saying that right before we hit record.
What kind of gold is it?
Monatomic gold. Yeah.
So what's the deal with that?
What's the deal with that?
So each one of those metals have different benefits to it, right? But gold, some of the biggest benefits to like monatomic gold is it helps with like cognitive function, helps with neurotransmitters and connecting the neurotransmitters. So, which is similar to like methylene blue has a lot of benefits like that as well. So that's why I have a methylene blue monatomic gold mix, because then it enhances the methylene blue, enhances the monatomic gold. And same thing like with red light therapy, the methylene blue, it's almost like a magnet when you do red light therapy with methylene blue. So a lot of people know about the studies for red light therapy, that how it can help with your mitochondria, help with your cells, help with your brain power, all these different things. The methylene blue acts as, just as an example I'm given to keep it simple, is it acts like a magnet and soaks up all those benefits into the brain. And then when you mix it with the monatomic gold, that's also helping connect the neurotransmitters within the brain. So there's so many different benefits. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a now it's escaping my mind, but there was a myth that I had read about monoatomic gold as well. I can't remember what it was. I know there's something about the Sumerian tablets and they were mining for gold, but then there's some people who speculate it's that monoatomic gold, and it's like
it's a different type of gold. It's not just like gold. It's a different type of gold. I didn't know there were different types of gold.
Well, it's gold. Monatomic gold is gold that, so kind of like the silver, right? So the silver is silver. It's just like the metal, but the silver, basically you're doing underwater arching with silver to get the nanoparticles in the nano silver. With the monatomic gold, it's basically heated up to an extreme heat to the point where, and I'm just using the simplest form that I can explain it with, right? I'm not a scientist, but so I don't know the exact heat, like the exact temperature that's used, but so it's heated up to such a high temperature that basically the gold turns into a powder, and that's where you get the monatomic gold from.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. I was thinking it's like a powderized form. The monatomic part makes it sound like it's broken down into teeny tiny little particles or something like that.
Exactly.
I also didn't know that gold was good for cognitive function.
Oh, it's awesome, yeah.
And we already know the mythology behind gold. I mean, like the Egyptians would, wearing all their headdresses and their armor plates with gold, and all the gold that's found in around the ancient sites in Mexico and places all around the world. I mean, obviously there's something, let's just say that there's something spiritual ascribed to the properties of silver and gold. Which is now funny because before we, started recording, I didn't know you were into the monoatomic gold thing. Which I'm very excited to learn about, but you somehow or another found yourself in the middle of the silver and the gold industry. I think that's really cool. You're slinging silver and gold, but let's take a slight step back. Before we go further into that stuff, I want to hear more about you, because obviously you're really cemented in the alternative health space. So I'm really curious, like, what happened to you, or what was going on in your brain that made you follow this path with a passion? Because you're obviously really into this kind of stuff. You're outside of the mainstream thinking. You're not aligned with, putting fluoride in your mouth, things like that, which tells me you're into alternative ideas. So I'm curious, like, how did you get there? What pushed you along that path?
Well, I mean, I've been in fitness nutrition most of my life, right? So that's like what since I was basically 18 years old, I became a personal trainer, and that's how I started in the industry.
Guys, we are so excited to tell you about our first brand deal with Stigma Hemp. We are so pumped to be working with them. These people are amazing. We've been working with them for a couple of months now. They have an amazing product. It's a family-owned business, and we really, really believe in the product. Ryan, tell them about some of the products that Stigma got.
Yeah, so they got these delicious THC teas, seltzer waters, gummies. I would personally say they're the best gummies I've ever tasted.
I would too.
In my humble opinion. And that milligram is just that perfect dose to have a good night without all the the freaky thoughts that gummies usually bring. No, but seriously, it's a great product. Josh is a great guy, the founder of Stigma Hemp, and I really am excited to partner with them, especially knowing that he is personally very interested in UFOs and the UFO space. And yeah, I mean, I just couldn't be more excited about it.
Yeah, guys, they have CBD, they have THC, they have capsules, they have gummies, they have drinks. They have these awesome CBD and THC drinks that are 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 alcohol. It's just pure either CBD or THC, and it's all in like relatively low doses, so it's manageable. It's a really, really good product. We've tested it ourselves
many times.
It's fantastic. They even have like sleepy time stuff that has melatonin. We really, truly, actually love this product. It's amazing. So we got a little special offer for our listeners.
Yes, we do.
Tell them about it, Ryan.
Go to stigmahemp.com and use code BSS at checkout, and you'll get a nice little 30% bump off your price there. And, get you some tins of gummies and just have a good time with them.
Stigmahemp.com, code BSS. Get that.
And then that kind of obviously, if you're passionate about that, then you're consistently researching, consistently learning different things, new things. So it's not just the exercise aspect, but it became the nutrition aspect as well. So then I was constantly reading, learning about both. And, as you get older, priorities seem to kind of take a change when you start having kids and, crazy things like that, right? So when I got out of the fitness industry, I got into me and actually Larry. I don't know if you met him, my business partner with Freshmouth.
I didn't.
Yeah, so he was at the booth. If you walked by and saw someone else, he was the one that was there. It was
I definitely saw him then. Yeah.
So him and I have known each other for like 20 years. So we've known each other for a long time. He's like a brother to me. Like we're super close. But him and I had a health and life insurance agency.
Really?
And we did really well. I had thousands of agents, throughout the country and everything. And then Obamacare came. Oh yeah, we did really good, but we did individual health insurance. So, which is what Obamacare kind of eliminated, was the individual aspect of health insurance, and it just like basically crushed our whole business. So, but the reason I bring that up is it caused me, because we had a call center in the Philippines. So that's what caused me to start traveling. I started going to the Philippines to help train and run the call centers, and ended up living there for 5 years. So when I got there, I've always been fitness nutrition. So even if it wasn't my career at the time, it was still a passion. I still work out. I still, followed specific diets and everything. And there was a holistic doctor, and I started studying with him and learned all kinds of different things. So now a lot of the things that I learned back then, and some of them were pretty basic stuff, right? But because right now it's coming out like mineral salt is so beneficial for you. So if you use Celtic salt or Baja Gold salt, it's got all the minerals that your body needs within that salt, and it doesn't cause high blood pressure like normal iodized salt, table salt that we use. It actually regulates your blood pressure. But this is something I learned 15 years ago, studying with this holistic doctor out in Dr. Jimmy out in the Philippines. So that's kind of how I really twisted and switched and pivoted into more the kind of alternative methods for nutrition. But it still left the oral aspect, where I had clients when I was training. I had clients, and I had friends and family. I brush my teeth twice a day. I still get cavities. I don't understand why. So when Obamacare kind of like blew up our health and life insurance agency, our business, we were trying to pivot and decide what to get into. I have always loved the fitness nutrition industry. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to like go back into it, but I didn't want to work for anybody. So it was kind of like, what can we do that we can build? And we were just kicking around ideas and started talking about oral wellness, and kind of like sparked a thought like, wait, there really isn't any thing out there that like focuses on like a whole advanced brushing system, right? And then I started doing the research on the nutrition aspect for oral wellness. That's where I came across the fluoride and what the dangers were in fluoride. And I mean, fluoride is some pretty nasty stuff. Like if you got caught dumping a cup, just a regular sized cup of fluoride in any municipality water system, even not municipality, any public water system, ocean, lake, or river, you would be arrested for toxic waste dumping, which is
Wow.
Really?
kind of which is kind of funny because it's in our water.
I was going to say they
So-
put it in the water. So
Yep, they put it in the water, exactly. And there's all kinds of side effects to it. Now there's a I don't know how deep into rabbit holes I can go on your podcast, but
Deep.
so the reason that fluoride was put into the water system, put into the toothpaste, has nothing to do with benefits to our teeth.
Right.
So what happened during the arms race, right? All countries were trying to make the atomic bomb. It wasn't like, oh, it's only the US and Russia that were trying to do it. Everybody was doing it. And then nobody talks about the reasons why all the other countries bailed and the US kept going. So what happens with the atomic bomb, we always hear about uranium.
Mhm.
The countries, this country has this much uranium and that country has that much uranium because of the atomic bomb, right? Without fluoride is what enriches the uranium within the bomb. So if you don't have fluoride, you don't have a nuclear weapon.
Whoa.
And there's so many dangers and side effects to fluoride that all the other countries bailed because all the workers in the factories were starting to have memory issues at an early age. They were starting to have bone problems and brittle bones, cancer. You had all these issues. So you had 40 and 50-year-olds that are getting dementia and Alzheimer's disease because they're around the whole entire time.
Wow. That is fascinating.
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, there was a slight stutter in the connection there. You still there? You still with us?
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah.
No, you're good.
So, so they all these other countries, even some of the countries, I think Denmark was one of them. I'm not positive, but actually came to the U.S. to see how are you actually producing this safely? And well, we weren't, but they had to find a way to convince everybody it was safe and effective, right?
Mm.
So what they did two different tests. The first test was they covered a tooth in a petri dish in fluoride particulates, which in the test showed that it stops sucralose or sugar from attacking the tooth and causing creating bacteria and eating away at the tooth. But if you took candle wax in that same test and covered a tooth with candle wax in a petri dish, it would have the same result. We're not putting candle wax on our teeth, right? So, but then the other one was they showed and proved that fluoride could strengthen the enamel. Now they ran with this, and which is true. So I'll give credit where credit's due, but it is still toxic waste. Okay, it's the number one ingredient in rat poison, so it's still toxic waste, right? But prolonged use of fluoride, more than 3 to 5 years, does the opposite. It causes cancer, but it also with your teeth, it softens the enamel. So now it makes you more prone to cavities. So when I had people saying, I don't understand, I brush my teeth all the time, I still get cavities, I still have these problems. It causes a softening of the enamel, which is called fluorosis. It's the number one cause of cavitations in your teeth. So the same problem that they were utilizing fluoride for to prevent is the actual problem that it actually caused the actual problem in the end to have more cavities, more problems. We end up with more root canals, more dental issues long term. But that's kind of how I started pivoting into the oral wellness industry and how I got into just alternative medicine, alternative healing, alternative, options than the mainstream. Was I started studying out in the Philippines with a doctor, and since then, I mean, I would say I'm I'm a nerd that likes to read scientific studies in his mom's basement growing up would be.
You know what you look like to me? You look like the white. You look like the white Incredible Hulk.
I love that. I love that. That's what I should put on my business card.
Yeah, you're like the Incredible Hulk without the green screen.
That's a glowing.
The green screen. That's a green screen. No, but
That's awesome.
how about a real glowing review? We met in Wisconsin at the Contact Modalities XPO. Fantastic time.
Yep.
It was just a fun event, and I was happy to bump into you there. My sister walks up to our booth, and we're like across the room from each other, right? But I didn't notice that corner much because I was looking the other way. My sister walks up and she's like, "You got to go see the toothpaste guy." I was like, "What toothpaste guy?" And she had a baggie. She had bought several of his products. She's like, "You got to go see the toothpaste guy." So I put my stuff down and I walked over there and I was looking for the toothpaste guy. And I bumped into Tony. We went into a lot of the stuff and we had gotten to, talking and hit it off, became fast friends. And it's funny because when you go to his booth, it's actually like very super aesthetic and professional. I'm going to give you all the credit because you guys just do a bang up job with what you do. And you're obviously hustling very hard and you have a deep passion for this. There was like binders and binders and binders of scientific articles.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah,
That's
dude.
impressive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm like flipping through the binders and, you had all your products on display and you're like, here, take a couple tubes. You hooked me up, man. You pretty much gave me like everything you have. You gave me like your whole toothbrush system. You gave me like 3 bottles of toothpaste, which I was like, oh my God, Alex will love this. He's into the fluoride. And then you gave me the water bottle, which I'd like to talk a little bit more about that too. The what is it, like ozone water or whatever?
Yep.
Anyway,
our water bottle, it does both hydrogen and ozone.
Yeah, so let's come back to that. But to finish the story, so we met in Wisconsin the first weekend of May, and I had a dentist appointment the next week, believe it or not. That was just random coincidence. And I had been feeling this, like, I kid you not, this is the honest truth. I've been feeling a toothache, like sensitivity in my teeth for a while, and it would like hot water, cold water. If I chewed a little too hard, I would have this like sharp pain in my tooth. And you gave me the toothpaste. So naturally I used it day and night until it was gone, which unfortunately now it is. We might have to talk about that. I started using your toothpaste and I noticed, I noticed that brushing my teeth was enjoyable. This is just like honest. I didn't think too hard about it. I'm just telling you what I felt. Brushing my teeth was enjoyable. There was a good taste. It didn't feel like a weird chemical taste. And I felt like, wow, I actually am enjoying this process. Not only does it taste good, but it feels good, if that makes sense. It actually did make my mouth feel fresher, which is like, fresh mouth, right? That's the whole thing. I went to the dentist next week. I was so sure I had a cavity from the pain in my tooth. I swear to you, over the next week, it was gone. And they're like, no, your teeth are perfect. You're good. And I was like, what? And I went home that day and I even texted you. I was like, dude, the stuff works. So
Oh yeah. And
that's my customer testimonial.
And we have had quite a few people and that's why I tell people at the booth, because almost everything that I talk about, I explain that I have the scientific studies to back it. It's right here. You can read it. I'll flip to it, show you. But I have the anecdotal evidence too, which sometimes anecdotal evidence, when I take something and it works and you see tremendous results, that's more important to the individual than anything they're going to read, right? Scientific studies. But we've had a lot of people that have had like small cracks in their teeth and it's actually healed the crack in the tooth, cavities, sensitivity, even receding gums. So some of the stuff the dentist says is impossible, right? Like receding gums, if your gums start to recede, you're kind of SOL and that's it. Your teeth are going to fall out. That's not true. So that one, I have the scientific studies. The silver, nano silver, is the only thing scientifically proven to actually regenerate the gum tissue. But think about what you said at the beginning about the hospitals using the silver nitrate on bandages. That's so that it could regenerate skin tissue and burn victims, right? So just logically, why wouldn't it help or be able to help regenerate gum tissue as well?
I read studies that it can also regenerate bone matter in some cases. Like the National Institute of Health has several studies on nano silver that are actually really, really interesting. I was into silver several years ago when I first found out about it. And that was kind of what jumped out at me about your thing, that it, that you used nano silver.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's very fascinating stuff, man. So I loved it. And yeah, I will tell you that when I ran out of those bottles and I went back to like my regular toothpaste, which is like the sensitive stuff, it's like, this tastes like pickles or something. And,
well,
and
we're gonna have to change that. We're gonna have to get you some more toothpaste.
the keyword there, I hate pickles. But like the toothpaste I was using before, like for the last several years, it has this disgusting chemical, but you don't notice that when you're doing it every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, you acclimate to it.
Well,
yeah,
most
you
people do
acclimate
it their whole lives.
Yeah, and you don't notice that it's horrible.
Yeah, I don't
What,
think I've
what
ever.
is it, Sensodyne?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's Sensodyne is Sensodyne has fluoride, right? So like I was saying about how it softens the enamel, fluoride, prolonged use, it changes the entire chemical structure of your tooth. So it changes your tooth to like you said, it causes the fluorosis. So it changes the whole chemical structure to soften the enamel and create the same issue, or Sensodyne is plugging the pores in the teeth, but at the same time it has the fluoride, so it's thinning the enamel while it's plugging the pores, and then it continues to get worse and worse and worse, where eventually it won't work anymore.
Have you heard about like back in the 40s that they were putting fluoride in the water supply of the concentration camps to test? You know what I'm talking about?
Yep, it was to make the prisoners more docile during the Hitler.
Yep.
Yeah, Hitler was using it, and that's another that goes into all the different rabbit holes, right? That's another one is it's put in there, calcifies your pineal gland. So when you're talking spiritually, because remember you and I were talking not too long ago about how I'm at all these different, like a UFO event.
Oh,
Toothpaste,
that's
a UFO event, right?
That's a note I had. I wanted to really break that down.
Yeah.
So you touched on that.
What's happened. We've been doing this for so many years, and I appreciate what you said about like our professional setup and everything, because when we started 5 years ago, we had bed sheets. So you've seen our color, right? It's the teal, kind of Tiffany blue teal color, and so we had bed sheets that same color over the table, and then the kind of plastic banners that people usually put up in the background for their birthdays and everything. So we had those, and then I used bungee cords to wrap the banner around the table.
Oh
and
yeah,
that was what we had, though, right? Like we were like, we spent all our money on product and getting started. We didn't have money for like a big setup, big booth, even the tablecloths and everything. We didn't have $400, $300 for tablecloths. Yeah, Target had bed sheets. That's what we used. So we've learned, though, over the years that farmers markets are very tough to sell toothpaste at. County fairs, very tough to sell toothpaste at. So we've done so many different events, and I'll give this one because I was going to start with this, but I was going to basically talk about, one, thank you for having me on the show, but two, also thanking you for having me on the show is I'm able to get the message out to your followers and subscribers, because if they're watching you and they're following you, they want the truth. They want to know what's being, what they're being lied to about.
Right.
They're most likely pretty educated because they see that there's a lot of things that aren't really making sense right now in the mainstream. So that's where we thrive. And anybody that like knows about UFOs, knows about Anunnaki and ancient civilizations, the Sumerian tablets, like you brought up, any of those individuals are looking for the truth, and usually know a little bit about silver. If they don't, and I explain it to them, they're like, I get it. Like, I see the benefits, but it's UFOs and ancient civilizations, obviously health and wellness, right? And then political events, which again, toothpaste, right? Political events. but I don't think there's many other things that are being. What's another type of event or group that's being lied to the most besides politics, right?
Hey, you have a
so,
fair point.
so all these buckets, these three different buckets, they don't typically mix with each other, right? Politics definitely does not get into UFOs or ancient civilizations or anything like that. Health and wellness kind of stays out of both, right? They don't get into to politics or UFOs, and then so none of them really mix. But people don't realize all three buckets are all looking for the same thing.
Yeah.
They're all looking for the truth. So that's why we're able to bring the toothpaste to all these different shows because. And the funny thing is, I get turned down a lot at these shows, and then I gotta I had to stalk you like an old ex girlfriend, right?
Oh no, yeah. In truth, I was just busy. Yeah, I feel bad about that. You know what, dude?
No,
Thank you
it's
for
fine.
saying all that, and thank you for like the encouragement there. And if anything, you're just a cool dude.
I appreciate it.
You're a cool
That
dude.
was kind of like when at Contact in the Desert, I went to like listen to your podcast that you did live,
Oh,
and
that's
that's kind of
right.
what I was
Thank you
thinking.
for
I
that.
was like, if nothing else, Ryan's cool. Like, and your family, your whole family. I mean, your mom comes now. If I'm at a show, your mom comes up and starts talking to me.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's and she's real. Your whole family, your sister, everybody's just real straightforward, upfront, honest. And listening to your podcast towards the end of your podcast with your sister, you went kind of on a rant, and it was awesome, like goosebumps, awesome, right?
Oh,
I
thank
was
you.
listening, I'm like, wow. So when you get going, then I noticed, I'm like, when you get going and you kind of get on that pedestal, that soapbox, that definitely, I can see why so many people watch and follow you because you make a lot of sense and you connect a lot of dots when you're speaking like that. It was something to be listened to for sure.
I appreciate that, man. And and full disclosure here, at the time I had a couple of bottles of my toothpaste.
That's what it
Saying.
was. See, it decalcified the pineal gland, right?
No, I've been thinking for several minutes. How am I going to work toothpaste right here?
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. Toothpaste, that's awesome.
Yeah, you got to run with that somehow.
Yeah.
Toothpaste.
Oh,
That's funny, right?
toothpaste and
Yeah.
the white Incredible Hulk. I am so running with both of those.
I just mean like you look like the Hulk if you wasn't green.
Yep, exactly. See, that's it. I'm running with both of those.
That's awesome, dude. So
Oh,
really though, in a moment of realness, I do really appreciate the kind words. You're a very cool guy. Like whether you had the company or not, I just love your energy. I know at both times that we were together in person, I really enjoyed talking to you. I meet a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that I'm like, oh yay, smile, and it's like, I feel, okay, this is a cool person, but like I got somewhere to be. But when I'm talking to you, I'm like, I feel like this is a friend. This is a very cool guy.
Yep.
So I appreciate you joining
Same.
us. It's mutual, thank you for joining us
Yep.
and feeling like there's value to be had here.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of the conference game, there's something that I've been wanting to ask you because obviously you already touched on the fact that you are just fitting like a glove in these UFO conferences. I mean, I go from like seeing you in May and meeting you and talking to you and working this conference, and then I see you like 3 weeks later and you're like at the door, thousands of people passing by, you're like running around, you had so much traffic. I mean, it was really a funny juxtaposition from Wisconsin to California. Like
Yep.
I was like, dang, good for Tony. But I have to ask, man, because you've been doing this for a long time. I'm curious to know, like, what are some of the most interesting characters you've met at some of these conferences that have come up to you and have been interested in your product?
Oh man.
I mean, like, for example, I just want to say, we're talking about conferences that are people who are like UFO and disclosure fanatics. There was one individual, total life of the party type, walking around in a silver. Did you see this guy? Like a silver reptile hood that was like a skirt. And it was like, He was walking around.
I don't
being
think I saw that guy.
He walked by and I
You
said,
did have some characters.
"Oh yeah, there were some hilarious characters." And I, it's like obviously I'm not really that into UFOs, but I'm kind of like a big UFO case, so I kind of mess with people a little bit. And when these strange characters walk by, I say stuff like, "I come in peace," or "Take me to your leader." Like, "Take me to your leader," and the guy turns to me, he goes, "I'm a glamtillion."
What?
A glamtillion.
Oh, like a glamorous reptilian?
Yes, the glamtillion overlord.
That's amazing.
So there's crazy characters here. So I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah.
What are some of the funniest people you've bumped into?
So it's funny because you had mentioned a little bit ago of my energy, right? And when we started doing like metaphysical shows, I've had a lot of people comment on my energy, and one girl in particular, she was actually at the show. She was at the booth across from us, and she says it all the time that my energy is like a magnet, right? So I get all these individuals and these people that they'll come up to me and they'll just start randomly telling me their life story, which is fine. I sit there kind of like what you said about, when people come up and talk, you smile and oh yeah, yeah. It's kind of like that, right? So I listen to these stories. One guy, now out of all the shows that we've done, I mean, I would do farmers markets again if it was necessary.
Yeah.
There's one show I will never, ever, ever, ever do again, and that's flea markets. If you've ever been to a flea market and then you have a product, so you see my product, and this is the beginning. So even though we had bed sheets, I'll have to send you a couple pictures of our setup back then. We still had it professional. They were professional looking bed sheets, Ryan.
I believe
okay.
it.
Yeah. You gotta drop a picture or two in. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, but when you're put next to sandwich in between two companies that sell garbage, no joke, garbage. They were garbage. Like, you pay these companies to come if you have old couches or something or old dressers and you want to get rid of them. And so you pay this company to come and get your garbage, right? And give them $200. Well, what they do with that garbage is they take it to the flea market and then they try to resell it to other people. So we were literally next to two garbage men, and I have my toothpaste out, right? And this guy, people are walking by, and at these shows, I have to really hustle. So what we do at shows like that is we'll have Larry will stand behind the table. I'll go out and get people, and I'm like, hey, you look like you care about healthy teeth, and I try to bring them over. So this one guy, I stop, and he takes his teeth out, right? He's got fake teeth.
Oh God.
He's like, no, he takes his teeth out. He's like, I'm from Kentucky, and proceeds to tell me about his meth lab.
Oh,
And I'm standing there. I'm like, what on earth is going on here? And my brother, my business partner Larry, he always used to ask me, what do you say to these people? I get them to tell you, their whole life story. And I said, I don't say anything. I literally just talk to them, say hi, and people start talking, and I listen, and that's what happens. And that was the first time he actually witnessed it. And this guy's just talking about his meth lab in Kentucky when he got arrested, he went to jail, and I was like, and all the while I'm like, please leave, please leave.
How do you accomplish at that point?
Right, exactly.
I don't want to know this.
Yep, that's pretty much what it was like. It was like, I don't want to hear it anymore. So that was the weirdest, strangest incident, I would say. But we get a lot of, like, at the metaphysical shows, we get a lot of people that do the pendant, the muscle test, and everything, and ask their spirit guides, is this toothpaste good for me, and that kind of thing. So that happens a lot. We get a lot of that, and fortunately, the spirit guides like us, because I don't think we've ever had anybody that said no.
Hell yeah!
I'm not surprised.
Now talk about a glowing review when you have when you have the spirit realm on your side. Dude, that's a huge endorsement.
Yeah,
that's a huge endorsement. And if they could speak about it, it'd be even better.
You just got to get like a spirit box or do like a seance or something, and then they can give their glowing reviews.
And that's why, because the same thing like Ryan said about the whole UFO thing, like toothpaste at a UFO conference, I get the same thing at the metaphysical. Everybody else is selling gems, and we're selling toothpaste.
No, the gin's in the paste, man.
Yes.
The metal's
you see it's shiny.
Yeah, it is. It is shiny. You can see little particles in it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's like a really interesting consistency. It's clear and anyway, yeah, dude.
It's like
I
a
love
galaxy in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, remember when you were a kid and you had like the glittery Elmer's glue that's like clear,
Yeah.
but it looks like that, but obviously not glue. It tastes very good. If I could describe like the look of it, it's like this very clear. It's not like white, like the
Right.
the clinical mainstream stuff. But yeah, dude, thanks for sharing that. That's funny. I had to ask because you've probably been to so many of these conferences where I mean, my immediate read of meeting you is like, dude, what is this guy doing here? This is amazing. But you are like not weird at all, though. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
I appreciate that one.
you're
Yeah,
playing the game.
You're not weird, man. You're like the Hulk.
I'm not weird. I'm like the Hulk, the White Hulk, right? Well, I mean, think about it, Nick. He's asking me if I've had some weird experiences with people at these shows. Ryan, you go to UFO events. I'm sure you have had some crazy experiences at some of the events.
I have, dude. It's a dime a dozen.
They're endless.
Yeah, but I want to hear yours. Being funny to me because you have to understand, Tony. This stuff started when I was like a 30-year-old kid, so this is so normal to me meeting these kinds of people. I mean, Nick and Alex can tell you, we just throughout the years. I mean, some of the comments we get, some of them are like astoundingly hilarious. Obviously, it's so many wonderful, good, altruistic people.
Right.
But every now and then, there's funny ones that are just like, whoa. It's everywhere. But yeah, I had to hear like your experience with that, being this guy who's just like in this for a very serious reason. You're on a mission. You're not like, a paranormal guru, but you're in this space. It's just so funny to me. The whole concept is just absolutely hilarious. And you just have a good vibe. Like to me, it's just funny, man. You're at these places and you're like, hey, let's talk about silver and toothpaste. And he's like, I'm a ghost. I have a meth lab in Kentucky.
Well, I like at some of the metaphysical ones, the one that we're doing in a couple weeks, it's what's it called? Full Disclosure Now. And I was telling you about it, I think. Oh yeah, awesome show. The guy who runs it, his name's Brian Sang, I think. He was actually at Contact in the Desert.
Oh, nice.
He is like the nicest guy. I mean, absolute nicest guy. Puts together this show. He wants it to build it up to be kind of like Contact in the Desert, and naturally, it's going to take time to build that reputation. But the first year, I mean, he just took a massive loss, but he knew he was going to take a massive loss in money. But he puts together this amazing show. So this is in a couple of weeks out in St. Pete's. It'll be on St. Pete's Beach in Florida. But when you go there, I'm gonna end up talking to a lot of Lyrans. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of Lyrans. There's probably gonna be a lot of Palladians. I'm gonna talk to a lot of Palladians there.
Of course.
This is what that I run into a lot of times at some of the metaphysical shows. And I'm not saying that because I believe in past lives. I believe in reincarnation, and I've had my spiritual awakening and everything, and definitely opened my mind to a lot of things over the last 8 years or so, 10 years. But if you talk to some people, and it's like, yeah, I do believe like you definitely probably somehow, some way remember some of those past lives.
Yeah.
But then some of these people, it's like, I think somebody let you out too early, maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm a little frightened right now.
But you know what? To be fair, that is true in every industry.
Community,
and this is going to be off
100%.
This is off the wall, but like, look at this. There's a story of like a stalker who believed he was Justin Bieber and stalked him and tried to kill him.
Dude, it's like the John Lennon thing.
Exactly. I mean,
it's the same thing.
It's not just UFO metaphysical spaces.
Yeah.
It's just people
everywhere.
Yeah, there are crazy people everywhere, and it's just hilarious because a lot of that kind of vibe is, drawn to some of these spaces. But then there's
Yep.
people like you and so many more amazing people, and that's why it's worth it, and that's why we keep going to them, right? Because there's people like me and you, and we meet and we dap it up and say, yeah, dude, let's do some work together, let's do a show, let's be friends. And there's so many more cool people, and then we get to sit back and watch and be like, wow, look at that guy in the silver outfit. that dude's driving a UFO around the parking lot. Did you see that? There was a dude who had like a go-kart or something.
Oh, that's epic.
Turned it into like a huge UFO.
That's
Right in
epic.
the parking lot, and like all kinds of crazy stuff. And it's a million times worth it.
That's
and
so cool.
Yeah, and I love it. And but hey, you know what? We never said the name because we have Fresh Mouth, which is the amazing toothpaste company. And you have so much more than toothpaste, like the water bottle, which I would love to hear about from you. We have the toothbrush, freshmouthclub.com. And for anybody who wants to go and throw support to my man Tony, who's out here hustling and grinding, slinging toothpaste, with code BSS, you can get 20% off.
Hey.
We are officially collaborating in that way because that's what friends do. But you never said the name of your new thing that's coming out.
So the new one is like I was saying about what the scientific studies say about silver, gold, and copper. A lot of the scientific studies refer to them as noble metals. So Noble Metals Wellness is the name of the new website that we're launching. It's kind of a detoxification. So we have ionic foot baths, we have detox foot pads, but the whole premise and idea was, so like one of the things that I read a while back was the CDC had made a statement at one point that said upwards of 85% of all diseases are caused by toxins that are in the body: aluminum, cadmium, all these different different heavy metals that we have, parasites that we have in the body. Up to 85% of diseases are caused by that. So that was kind of what sparked me to really look into more the overall wellness. Like the deodorant is one of the biggest. All the aluminum that's in deodorants that are out there, it plugs up your lymphatic system. So not only does the aluminum get into your body, it can cross the blood-brain barrier. Then you can go down rabbit holes for that too and look at, the microwave rays that are sent out through different towers and everything, and mind control and MK Ultra and all these different things. And a lot of that stuff has actually been released. So, but a lot of that has to do with the aluminum that crosses the blood-brain barrier. It makes it easier for the whole MK Ultra program and to manipulate the mind. And to get that aluminum out of the system, well, one, you have stopped using aluminum. So that's kind of a big start, right? So the toothpaste, there's toothpaste that have aluminum in it, right? Our toothpaste has no toxins in it, no heavy metals in it. Now the deodorant that'll be on Noble Metals Wellness, the deodorant has the nano silver. And have you guys, either one of you, ever tried an all natural deodorant before?
No.
My sister uses it like regularly.
Really? Because usually I've tried a lot of different all natural deodorants, and by the end of the day, you kind of smell like a foot. It just doesn't work, right? At the end of the day, you're like, whoa, that's right, So, but it goes to the same aspect as the toothpaste, right? Because most of them, they'll use baking soda, or magnesium, but it doesn't use anything that is an antibacterial agent. So I use the nano silver in the deodorant, and I'm telling you, I'm going to send both of you guys some of my deodorant. I want you to try to smell bad, because I'll give you a little. Your wife might not be happy with my statement there. I don't know. So she's going to be Tony Ryan in the shower for 3 days because you told him
to try to smell bad.
I do appreciate that. I'm very excited for it. I very much appreciate that. And I know I'm just going to say this. I'm going to assume that maybe we can do a thing there with the code BSS situation.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. I'll send you a link so everybody has a link that they can click on with, with everything, and same thing for sure.
You're the man.
Absolutely. Yep.
Let's talk about the water, the ozone water, because that's actually, I was reading about that, and I still don't quite understand it. And what is it? Also hydrolyzed water?
Hydrogen. So the hydrogen,
Okay.
our water bottle is the only one that I know of still on the market that does both. So when we started, the ozone was the most important thing for us. We wanted a water bottle that that created ozone water because ozone is 10 times more sterile than bleach, but it's you could drink it, you can rinse your mouth with it, obviously, you can rinse your fruits and vegetables with it. Japan actually uses ozone gas to sterilize their hospital rooms. So there's a lot of, even here when you go, like the hotel that we stayed at for Contact in the Desert, I'm pretty positive they use ozone gas to clean out the rooms after people are done. That's the difference between like fancy hotels and then the hotel that you go to and you're like, I can smell the last person that was in here. That, yeah, because when you use an ozone machine, it just eliminates, sterilizes, and eliminates all of that.
I wouldn't be
So we
shocked
wanted that
because
for the mouth.
that's like a billionaire area, and so I wouldn't be
Hmm.
shocked if they were using that kind of crazy stuff that
Absolutely. Yep.
so
And there's people that actually do ozone treatments, inject ozone treatments into the blood
oh,
because it'll oxygenate the blood. So even our water, it's obviously not as strong as injecting ozone gas into you, but but if you do the ozone water, right? So what I'll do in the morning, I'll do the ozone, and then I'll use like uh, in the cup with that goes on the back of the electric. There's like a little cup, so you just pour some of the water in there, and then I'll put the drops in, and that's what I'll rinse with, and then I'll drink the rest of the water that's in the water bottle. So the ozone water is not as much of a hydration water as it's a sterilization aspect to kind of complete the advanced brushing system that we were trying to do, but it will oxygenate the blood. So the presence of oxygen is the absence of disease is kind of the tagline that I like to use. I got that from Gary Brecka, but
nice.
you kind of feel it when you drink it. You kind of feel a little boost of energy. It's not like a caffeine jolt or anything like that. It's more of a clarity, mental clarity. In so, but I usually tell people because of that aspect, you might not want to drink it at night. So I do it in the morning. I'll drink the rest of the bottle. At night, I just rinse with it. But then the hydrogen studies that have come out are fairly recent, and there was a brand, a water bottle, hydrogen water bottle brand that was on Joe Rogan. So the hydrogen aspect blew up. It became so trendy, so popular. And then I'll get people at some of the shows. They're like, "Oh, I have a hydrogen bottle. I paid $30 for it." I can assure you, that's not real. Because believe me, I know what it takes to manufacture those things. If you paid $30 for a hydrogen water bottle, you're not drinking hydrogen water. That was you got kind of played, and you should get your money back because it costs more than that just to manufacture them, right?
Right.
So, but hydrogen and ozone actually they're both anti-inflammatory, but the hydrogen studies have shown so much anti-inflammation that it's like myriads of diseases that it helps with everything from dementia, Alzheimer's, and brain fog, cognition issues and problems to joint pain, muscle pain, insulin resistance, anti-aging, obesity, and weight loss. So all of these things that inflammation affects, which is like pretty much everything, right? Hydrogen enriched water has shown to be beneficial against it. So that was just an added benefit for us because the ozone was like our big thing for oral wellness when we started 5 years ago. And then when they were on Joe Rogan and it blew up with the studies on hydrogen, now people come up and they're like, "Oh, this is a hydrogen water bottle? I want that." So we sell so many more water bottles than we used to, but not complaining, but not for the reason that we intended
That's a good
originally.
problem to have.
It's a
That
great problem to have.
that's
It's a great problem to have, and actually, there's because every now and then we'll have a couple people at different shows that sell water bottles and just water bottles. Now, if you look at the price of some of these hydrogen water bottles, they're upwards of $400 or $500, right?
mm,
And we actually had somebody come up to us and get angry because we weren't charging enough money for our water bottle. So the guy said, you guys charge $500 for these water bottles. Like, people are coming up to me and they're upset because my water bottles are $500 and yours are $200, and it's kind of hurting my business. And can you believe somebody
That's
actually
crazy.
said that? Right? Yeah. I'm like, so the response though, like, we're all about repeat business. Like, if I sell somebody a $500 water bottle, and not to say that they would stop them from buying my toothpaste or anything like that, but it's just integrity. It's just not the right thing to do, right? Like attracts like, and I believe in that fully. So if you're doing the right thing, and that was our response to him was, I understand that a lot of hydrogen water bottles are $400 or $500, but we're not a water bottle company. So that's just so happens that we have one, but our whole thing is repeat business and happy customers. So if I have happy customers, then they typically are going to stay with me. If they know that I ripped them off on a water bottle, they're not going to be too happy anymore. But we've actually had people complain that we didn't charge enough money for the water bottles. I'm like,
That's insane. I'd be like, for you, it's 50% off, my friend.
we'll give you the wholesale price, 50% off.
Yeah, that's also a good problem to have, man. I mean, it
Yep.
just feels like you're on a great track. And
Yep.
to be honest with you, the reason I thought it was such a great fit for you to come on the show is because I personally am very interested in alternative methods of health and wellness. It's something that has fascinated me since I was in college. Since I found out there was such a thing, I'm a regular faster. I did a pretty long fast today. Gonna fast right into tomorrow. That's something that I've bare minimum. I'm always trying to do that at least, but also looking into, these alternative practices that can enrich my health, enrich my well-being. So, I appreciate that this is, as far as I know, it's like our first episode like this, where we just riffed on an alternative health thing, which is something I've wanted to do for years, so this has been awesome, man.
Yeah.
You would have thought you would have done it with the white Incredible Hulk.
It's an honor. It's truly an honor.
It is. It's an honor, man. It is an honor. And you know what? I just got to say, all my friends rock with the Noble medals.
That's right. I didn't know they were called that. That's really cool.
Actually.
Yeah. They're called Noble Medal. That's a good name. That's a really good name.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Noble Medal Wellness, and that was the whole thing. So we'll have we have soap that has silver in it. I'm going to have a soap that's silver and gold. We have supplements that are just nano silver. Then I have a nano silver and monatomic gold mix. Then the methylene blue and gold mix. Shower filters, nano silver shower filters.
Oh, that's cool.
Take it out. Yep. So that the whole idea is to try to eliminate the toxins that are in our everyday lives as much as possible, and continuously do it, right? So that way we're not going back to the same old problems and the same old things. But that was kind of the premise behind the thought of launching that website.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And still doing the antibacterial stuff, but doing it in a natural way. That's fascinating, and I've been educated today. It's been a fascinating. I've just been sitting here slack jaw, just listening. It's really been fascinating. Seriously,
we'll have to get you some of the toothpaste, man. Try it for yourself.
I would love to. Actually,
it really
Absolutely.
is. I'm not just saying that because we're recording. I mean, I told you this off air. I'm being genuine here. It really is. It doesn't feel like a chore when you're brushing your teeth with it. It feels like, oh wow, this is. You're drawn to it, whereas the chemical stuff, I'm it's just so, I don't know, you'll see. But I really like it. It's a great product, man. You have a great thing going. I really love it.
Thank you, Ryan. I'll afterwards I'll text you so I can get Nick's information too, so I can send him some.
Oh,
so he can try the toothpaste and everything. I'll send both you guys the deodorant and maybe a couple bars of soap. You guys can try it. See how you like it and everything. Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's exciting, man. We really appreciate that. Thank you for being a friend of the show. Something I like to ask guests. If you just could imagine everybody in the world was listening, man, you got the mega microphone and you got that chance to blast your message out to the world. What's that one thing that you wish that you could make everybody know?
If I could tell everybody one thing, it'd be the small little things they could do to change their health that are not expensive. And that's kind of my whole goal with Noble Meadows Wellness was to soap, deodorant, stuff like that. But like drink clean water, fluoride free water.
Mhm.
You know, that's everybody can do that, right? Don't drink tap water. Mineral salt, and this is stuff like, again, I don't make any money off of salt, right? I don't make money off of water, you know. So drink clean water, mineral salt like Celtic salt or Baja Gold salt. It has all the minerals in that your body really needs, and we're deficient in a lot of those minerals. So, you know, magnesium, boron, iodine, we're deficient in selenium. So all these different small micronutrients that our bodies are deficient in that cause a lot of problems that we don't realize. Thyroid issues and even sleep disorders are caused by a lot of times just our deficiencies in different minerals. So if there was one thing I could tell everybody, it'd be drink lots of clean water. And if they're going to start on a supplement, if they're not already taking supplements, I would start with mineral salt.
Mineral salt. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been taking Celtic sea salt, and it really does work.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's really
It
powerful.
is.
So
Yep.
before we dip, I do have to reference. All right, so we got. I'm going to say this now so I don't forget because we switched our code. I'm just going to go. I was supposed to do the side games thing in the beginning, but I'm going to do it real quick. We did have a previous code on the episode we recorded with Hakeem, but side games is coming up, guys. For those of you listening at home, if you're still with us, the side games is in a couple weeks from today. We have a new code. It's all caps, okay? RYANBPG 20. We have 80 tickets left. We are trying to pack the house. This is going to be a historic event where people from around the country, maybe around the world, who knows? Come find out, are going to be showing up to compete in an actual first time ever competitive environment, testing their psi capabilities. There are 5 different categories of competition with things like telekinesis, remote viewing, what's it called when you psychokinesis, when you move physical matter with your mind. 5 different categories of competition. It's going to be very cool. There are going to be some amazing speakers. I personally am extremely excited to meet Tom Campbell, who is truly a living legend. He was just recently on Joe Rogan. You might recognize him from that, but he was one of the original scientists that personally helped Robert Monroe established the Monroe Institute. He's literally going to be there. He's still alive, right? Wow, that's what I said.
awesome.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. Yeah.
He's the keynote speaker. Well, he's one of them. I don't want to misspeak there, but he's one of the main events. And to me, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to meet him. I hope I don't freaking blow it. But Diane Hennessy Powell, shout out the telepathy tapes. I got her book at Contact in the Desert. She's a lovely lady. You guys might recognize her as the scientist involved with the telepathy tapes, the one who's actually working with the nonverbal children. She will be there as well at the Psy Games. My father will be one of the speakers, and there's like a laundry list of other people who are going to be there, including multiple guests from the show, like Chris Ramsey. He'll be there. He'll be hosting events, and it goes on and on. So guys, please come see it at the Psy Games. I'll be a commentator. I'm going to be like spectating these competitive events and actually commenting on them. My boys Nick and Alex are going to be there.
Yeah.
They're going to be chilling, hanging out with people. It's going to be a fantastic time. Maybe if the stars align, my man Tony might be there.
I'm pumped now. If there was any doubt before, now I'm really pumped to go.
Get excited!
Yeah, get excited.
How's that for a plug? So,
yeah, you're going to be real good at commentating those games because I'm pumped.
Did you see that? He had a thought that was freaking psychic. No, I have to be completely neutral, man. I got to be professional. But no, seriously, it's going to be an awesome event. And I'm not like paid to promote this. Hakeem is a friend of mine. He asked for help. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to promote. I'm not taking any money to do this. Dad's not taking any money to do this. We're doing this because Hakeem is our friend and we believe in him. We genuinely like what he stands for, what he's doing, what he's into. He's been on our show. He is just an outstanding individual. And he literally asked me on the phone. He was like, would you be a commentator? I was like, look, dude, I have no experience doing that. But if you just want me to do something, I'll do whatever you want me to do and I'll figure it out. So anyway, that's my side game spiel. It's just a few weeks away. It's the last weekend of July, first weekend of August. At the Omni Hotel in Charlottesville, Virginia. Go to sidegamesinternational.com. Code, I just said it, but one more time. It's capital, all caps, Ryan BPG 20. Tony, you're awesome, dude. Thank you so much for joining us. I have really enjoyed riffing it with you, dude. I feel like 10 times stronger just even being in your
sitting here talking. Yeah.
Sitting here
like
learning.
that osmosis. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I've absorbed some of your holistic strength.
We got to do this again for sure.
Yes. Yeah. When you launch Noble Metals,
absolutely.
Noble Metals Wellness.
Noble Metals Wellness.
Right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And you know, it's funny because all these events that I go to, I actually was at a paranormal event a few weeks ago, and in Chicago. And what was the name of the podcast that was there? There's a podcast guy, and super cool, nice guy. And now anytime I meet, like, I think it was like tinfoil hat podcast or something like that. I don't know. Something that definitely fits a paranormal show for sure. And the guy was super cool. I think it was tinfoil hat, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it the one? Was it like a really big podcast with Sam Tripoli, the comedian?
No. He was. It's a smaller podcast, and because I always bring you guys up, like when I see people, and talk about your dad and stuff, and now I'm not doing that as much because they for some reason they're starting to think that I have some like sort of connection and like I'm on the booking team or something for your podcast, and they're like, oh, I've been trying to get on Bledsoe Said So for so long, and I've sent the messages and they haven't responded. Can you talk to them? I'm like, no.
Not enough.
No, I cannot.
That's actually funny, man.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, so you got a lot of fans. You got a lot of fans out there for sure. It was in Chicago, Chicago. Yep.
They're passionate, active fans.
Yes. So now I'm like, I don't like to say that. I'm gonna be on his podcast. No. I met Chris Bledsoe. Yeah, got his autograph. Yeah. That's I think as far as it's gonna go.
Dude, that's funny. Well, without further ado, let's blow this popsicle stand, man. We actually have a very strict way that we end the show. We rarely miss it. We just say bye, guys, at the same time. You ready?
Sounds good.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
What up, homies?
If you like the show and want more, check out patreon.com/Bledsoe Said So.
This will get you exclusive weekly bonus shows and access to our Discord community with hundreds of open-minded people just like you.
If you want to represent the show, go to bledsoesaidso.com for merch. We have t-shirts, hats, hoodies, and more.
For all future updates, follow us on Instagram at Bledsoe Said So.
Same time next week.